Hey, come on.
What's up, everybody? We are back with the last section of our estimation and rounding off series. In this section, we will be focusing on specific questions that many learners find challenging. So let's not waste any more time and let's get straight to our first question. Okay, so let's start off by reading the question thoroughly. It says, estimate the answer by rounding all numbers to the nearest 100. And the numbers are as follows. It's 154,321. It's 12,579 and 2,103. So because we have to round off to the nearest 100, we have to locate the number in the hundreds place. 1 is in the ones place, 2 is in the tens place, and 3 is in the hundreds place. Next step, let's find the number next to it. We move over, that's the 2. Now what do we do next? If the number next to it is 4 or less, the number in the hundreds place will stay the same. If the number next to it is 5 or more, the number in the hundreds place will increase by 1. Well, we can see that the number in the hundreds place is less than 4, and therefore that number will stay the same and the numbers behind it will become 0. 1, 5, 4, 3 stays the same and the numbers behind it become 0. Now, let's do the same thing for the next number. Let's find the number in the hundreds place. 9 is in the ones place, 7 is in the tens place, and 5 is in the 100s place. Now let's look at the number next to it, or to the right of it. It's a 7, and that 7 falls in the 5 or more group. Therefore, the number in the hundreds place will increase by 1, and the numbers behind it, or to the right of it, will become 0. So it will become 12, 5 increased by 1, to become 600. Okay, let's move to the next number. Same thing. Let's find the number in the hundreds place. 3 is in the ones place, 0 is in the tens place, and 1 is in the hundreds place. Now what's the number next to it? It's 0. That falls into the 4 or less group. Therefore, the number in the hundreds place will stay the same, and the numbers behind it, or to the right of it, will become 0. So it's 2, 1, 0, 0. There we go. All the numbers that we were given in the question have been rounded off to the nearest 100. So now we have to estimate the answer. And there's many ways to do that. Right? We can use the breakdown method. Or just figure it out at your head. Or you can use the vertical column method, which I'm going to use right now. But remember, you can use any method as long as you end up by the correct answer. So let's get straight into the section of the question. Okay, so let's start off by adding. 0 plus 0 plus 0 gives me 0. And the same here, it will also give me 0. Now we've got 3 plus 6 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. So we keep a 0 there and we move the 1 over. 1 plus 4 will give me 5. 5 plus 2 will give me 7. And 7 plus 2 will give me 9. Let's move over to the next column. 5 plus 1 is 6. And the last column is only 1. And there we go. Our answer to this question is 169,000. Okay? Now remember how to tackle these questions. We first round off and then we estimate or do a rough calculation. So let's dig straight into our second question. It says, estimate the answer by rounding off both numbers to the nearest 1,000. And our numbers are 48,748 minus 14,389. So let's get straight into it and round off our two numbers to the nearest 1,000. And we're going to do so using our rule. Now remember, they say we have to round off to the nearest 1,000. So step 1, we have to locate the number in the 1,000 place. So the 8 is in the ones place, the 4 is in the tens place, the 7 is in the hundreds place and the 8 is in the thousand place, right? Now we have to look at the number next to it because that's step 2. And the number next to it is 7. And 7 falls into the 5 or more category, and therefore the number we are focused on, which is the 8, will increase by 1, and the numbers behind it, to the right of it, will become 0. So let's do that. It's 49,000 minus. Now let's move over to our next number. And again, we have to find the number that's in the thousand place. 9 is in the ones place, 8 is in the tens place, 3 is in the hundreds place, and 4 is in the thousand place. 1,000 over there. So now let's look at the number next to it. The number next to it is the 3. And 3 falls into the 4 or less, which means the number we are focused on, which is the number 4, will remain the same, and all the numbers behind it or to the right of it will become 0. Let's do that. So it's 1. The 4 will stay the same, and the numbers behind it will become 0. Cool. And there you can see we rounded both our numbers off to the nearest 1,000. Now we have to estimate, do a rough calculation of 49,000 minus 14,000. So let's do that and see what answer we get. Now remember, there's a variety of ways to do it. We can do the breakdown method, we can do the vertical column method, you can figure it out of your head. You do as you please, but I will stick to the vertical column method for this video. Now remember to keep your columns in the right order, okay? The ones are the ones, the tens are the tens, the hundreds are the hundreds, the thousands are the thousands, and so forth. Let's get straight to it. 0 minus 0, that will give me 0. 0 minus 0 gives me 0, and the same thing again. 0 minus 0 gives me 0. Now we got 9 minus 4, which is 9,000 minus 4,000, and that will give me 5 over there, 5,000. Then we've got 4 minus 1, which is 40,000 minus 10,000, and that will give me 30,000. And we end off with 35,000, right? And that's fantastic. That is the answer, and I really hope that it's starting to sink in now that you're starting to get it, and I hope that when you get this question moving forward that you'll be able to tackle it. And that brings us to the end of our estimation and rounding off series. We really hope that it added value to your life, and that whenever you have to tackle a question with regards to estimation and rounding off, that you can do so confidently. But also, when you're out in the real world and you have to round off or estimate to solve a problem or make your life easier, that you can easily do so. Until the next series, keep well and all the best. Put in the work and know that you can achieve and you can do this work if you put your mind to it and you do what you got to do. We got it.